another portion of that is really keeping a clean community at all times, and I think you're gonna continue to see that, and maybe even to a more extent, that, you know, a clean community, when people walk in, they don't see sand and dirt all over the place, and you see that, like, I think when you touched on that Stodden Park, what a perfect model that they've developed of the Friends of Stodden Park, the diverse group of people that are in there. You need to go to that website and really look at to appreciate what's going on there, because it's a group of people, again, focused, they care about Butte, and we all care about Butte, but it's about, you know, making us the most successful community, most livable city in the state and in the Northwest.
You know, for me, it's engaging people in the community, trying to get people involved, allowing them to be involved, you know, and that we need to look at how, you know, Jim touched on with the Friends of Stodden Park. We were able to get a group of people that they focused on something that really meant a lot to them, to their kids, to our community, and that allowed that Friends of Stodden Park to kind of build together. But we built it off an older model when they tried to do Splash Butte, and so, you know, we just lost Barb Kennison and Fran Dorn. They actually helped us in that. So it took a little bit of the old and built it with the new, and energized some of the young families in our community. And we've got to try to re-engage that, where we're allowing people to be involved in our government at any level, or volunteering within our community, and that's what's going to make a difference. You know, government can't fix it all for everybody. Private citizens can't fix it all for everybody, but we've got to work in partnership together and build that trust. And that's hopefully what we're going to show in our first 100 days. That's what we're working to do, is build that trust, build that capacity, and then start moving towards really, you know, driving towards what we see will be our vision and mission for Butte Silver Bow.
You know, I was going to go back to you. I had heard you mention earlier, I hope I heard you right. You said that, you know, even though COVID obviously has been bad for everyone,
Yeah.
you know, and the community, but you said people are beginning to look at Butte.
Sure.
And we were talking to Mary McCormick the other day, and she said a few buildings have actually sold
Right.
in Uptown. So I guess I was wondering, do you see like more retail coming into Butte? Because that is such a need here.
Sure.
I know we have great boutiques and great local shops uptown, and we're small business, so I support those. I'm not saying
Absolutely.
I don't,
Right.
but we do need retail
Sure.
in this town. Do you see anything like that coming?
You know, I do. I think that we will see retail coming in the future. I think that was part of Buxton, and some of it got stalled out. But I think people are still identifying with Butte and what we have here, and the capacity that we have in real estate that is available, that is available for people to move into or build. But with that being said, it's I think we've got to build our workforce, and that, you know, where people have that disposable income, that they're going to be able to support a retail business. You know, we lost Herberger's, and from my understanding that it wasn't intimate into it, but, you know, Herberger's was a highly successful store, and it didn't close because it wasn't successful in Butte. It was just the model across the nation
Right.
was not successful. So I think that there's capacity here. I think that there's interest in Butte, but again, we've got to show that we're growing, and we're showing in the jobs market side of things, and I think retail will follow.
You had mentioned the roads and how difficult an issue it is, and we know we're in Butte, and we know
Yeah.
because of the climate, it's always going to be an issue. But how do you decide how do you decide what gets fixed and when?
You know, that's a great question, and I haven't been in a lot of those conversations with Public Works yet. I will be. I think it's important that we identify what the needs are of the community, and what our plan is going forward, and how we're going to address the road issues here in Butte. And I don't think it's anybody's hiding anything, but I think that, again, I go back to the communication piece with the public, why we're repairing what street and why it's a priority over another street. Because, you know, in truth, most of our streets have issues. And so how do we prioritize what repairs we're going to be doing, or if we're going to do a repaving project, or if we're going to do a mill and fill, or, you know, all kinds of different scenarios that are there. So right now I don't have a great answer for you, but I think that's, again, working with the Public Works Department, working with the road department, and then just informing the public what we're doing. Because that, more than anything, people, you know,
That's key.
when it's just a guessing game, and, you know, and it's like, well, my street never gets fixed. Well, why do we pick the priorities that we're picking?
Just to add a little bit too, and I know we both been to different cities and everything. I've been to other cities that you get off the beaten path. Their streets are very, very bad, and there's a couple of major cities around this town. I'm around the state, and I think once you get a good comprehensive plan, and
Right.
it'll all work.
Yeah.
You know, there's one thing that I will say that I think our Public Works Department does a fantastic job, and that's keeping our main thoroughfares clean. When we haven't had much snow this year, but you go to a lot of other communities and you see how they're plowed and how they're picked up and stuff. Our Public Works Department does a fantastic job of cleaning streets and keeping, you know, the streets safe. Again, we're limited on what we can do, and so that's a hard thing, because when you live on an off street and your street's not being cleaned or whatever, you know, people want to know why. So we just need to be able to tell them the why. Jim and I have been acquaintances for quite a few years, but really not in a tight-knit group. And about 3 months ago, we started communicating and talking and having understanding what his energy level is at, his love of our community. It's in line of what exactly I see in myself, and we're not in lockstep of everything that we have going on together. I mean, he's brought on, like all of my department heads, to challenge us and to make us better, not to be a yes man at any level, because that's not what I want in my administration. It's not what I want in my department heads. I want people that are going to challenge us to be a better community.
I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. And when you're having fun, you get a lot of stuff
Yeah, you
done.
get a lot of stuff done.